Hello my sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, thank you so much for joining me. Today I've teamed up with one of my favorite YouTube creators, Kerri over at Mama Dares to DIY, to bring you a collaboration. And the theme this week, Summer Decor. So when you're done watching my video, don't forget to click on the link in the description box below to watch Kerri's video. Today I'll be showing you how I made a super sweet door hanger using these. If you'd like to see how, just keep watching. So the first thing I'm going to do is come in with this Waverly chalk paint in the color ink and paint this entire board. I forgot to mention that this board actually I purchased it from the Goodwill a few months back, and so I'm wanting to use it now. But you could also use any piece of wood, or if you have a Dollar Tree sign that's similar to this shape, which I have an example. Here I have this sign that's left over from Valentine's Day. It's just about the same size. I just wanted to use this one for this project. So I'm gonna set this aside to dry, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've gotten my board set aside, and now I have taken out these ornaments from Easter time. It's the carrots and the eggs, and you're probably wondering, this is a summertime craft, what are you doing with Easter? Well, we're gonna chop them up and turn them into other things. So the first thing I'm going to make is an ice cream cone. So what I want to do is mark a couple of lines on the sky here, and we're going to get them cut off. So I'm going to cut this one right about there, and then I want to cut this to just before it starts to curve also. So I'm going to take my ruler and just go right there. And I think that's good. I'm just going to take my blade, and you just want to be super careful with your blade, and just go really slow, and you're going to take a couple of passes. There's our cone and our other piece. And now we're going to cut the egg into sort of an ice cream cone shape. So I'm just kind of measuring out here where this would look the best. Okay. I know that's looking a little crazy, but the next thing I'm gonna do, oops, the next thing I'm gonna do is kind of just finesse these edges a little bit. Kind of fits a little bit better. I'm just drawing some lines here to kind of curve it down and make it look a little bit more So I'm going to take these pieces and sand them down a little bit, and we'll put together this portion, the ice cream portion of the ice cream cone. Here I'll be attaching the ice cream pieces together using a scrap craft stick and hot glue. Then I use Spackling from Dollar Tree to fill in the gaps and the hole from the ornament and set it aside to dry. This next one I'm going to cut off the little grassy part of the carrot. And this one we're going to turn into a watermelon wedge. So I do need to sand this one. Can you guess what this one's going to be? Off. I have one more egg that I want to make into a lemon wedge or slice. I guess it would be a wedge. So I'm going to kind of just mark it where I think it will look good. Okay, I've gotten all of the pieces sanded, the ones that had the spackling on it, and so now I'm going to begin painting. And these are the colors that I have so far, and I'm going to be working on the ice cream cone part of it first. And so I'm going to start with the light mocha and just give this a coat. I started off with a base coat of light mocha, then on the left side of the cone I blended in territorial beige to give it some dimension, and on the right side I blended in the antique white. Used the antique white to create a light line, and then on the left I made some crosshatch lines with chocolate bar for the cone effect. I've changed out the colors to paint the ice cream portion, and I forgot to mention earlier that I did pull out this heart here to make as a cherry, which I thought was really cute. So the colors I have here, this is Ballet Slipper by Waverly. This one red here is called True Red, and it's Anita's all-purpose acrylic. And I have this pearlized pink, pearl pink, excuse me, by Anita's all-purpose. And then I have still the antique white from the last time. So I'm going to start by painting the little heart first and set that to the side. Next I'm coming in with the ballet slipper. Then I blend in the pearl pink for some shimmer, and then I use the antique white to add some highlights. While I still have the red and the pink out, I'm going to go ahead and work on the watermelon. So what I'm going to do first is kind of just mark a guideline here for where I want to stop painting. Alright, next I'm going to work on the pineapple and the lemon wedge. And I'm using Maize by Waverly, and this one is called Pale Daffodil by Apple Barrel. So I'm going to use the Maize on the pineapple. Next, I'm going to come in with this antique white and paint some diagonal lines on the pineapple here. For the lemon, I roughly drew out where the pith and the segments would be, and then I filled it in with the antique white. Alright, so next I'm going to work on the watermelon, the rind area, and I have this Craft Smart Holiday Green acrylic paint, and I'm also going to be working with the antique white again. Next I'm going to paint the greens on top of the pineapple here, and I'm coming back in with the holiday green, and I have a couple drops of this campground green, excuse me, from Craft Smart, and I have this Scallion too that I may try to incorporate in there as well. While the pineapple is still drying, because I ended up having to do quite a few coats of that green, I'm going to come in and define the lemon segments and the lemon a little bit. And this is Elephant Gray in Waverly chalk paint. And I am not going for perfection here, so if the lines are a little bit wiggly, I'm totally okay with that. Now that this green has dried, I'm gonna go ahead and put in some little minor details. I realized I didn't give my lemon any seeds, so I'm just gonna put a couple of seeds in here, and then we're gonna put, I'm gonna put seeds on the watermelon as well. And for the watermelon, I'll be using the ink. And I'm actually going to pencil these in before I actually do them. Decided to come in with this fine point Sharpie, ultra fine point is what it's called, and do some little squiggly lines around the pineapple to give it some more character. So I'm just gonna do some lines and dots just to give it a little extra something. I'm gonna also do the pineapple. And since we're going, we do the ice cream cone. This time I'm just gonna do straight lines. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this watermelon here on a stick. And now for the ice cream cone. I originally planned to make an orange popsicle out of foam board, but that didn't work out. So I made a strawberry out of a carrot instead, and I think it turned out pretty deliciously. All right, so one of the last steps in getting this thing put together is I wanted to put a saying on it that had to do with summer. And so I went on Google and I really liked this one just because it kind of reminded me of those menus that you see with all the chalkboard art. So, and I believe that this might have been underneath a chalkboard one with the Google search that I did. However, for the board that I have, this printout was a little too big as it just came out. So I resized it and I felt like this was too small. So what I'm going to do is actually combine the two of them and see what I can come up with. To prepare the sign, I know I didn't use chalkboard paint, but I'm going to try this and see if it works. If not, then I do have chalkboard paint. I can paint over it and start over. So I'm going to take this white one first and just season up the board. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So I'm going to set this to the side and bring back out our printable here. And I'm going to do the transfer method with the pencil. We use color on the back, which is why I didn't put any tape on the back. Color on the back, and then turn it back over and trace everything onto the board. So let me go ahead and do that. Just a moment. Now, so I'm not able to, I can't see anything here, so I think like I can barely make it out. So what I think I'm gonna do, and I didn't want to do this because I'm afraid of this method and I don't know why, but I'm gonna try the chalk. And just gotta do it. I want it to show up, I gotta do it, right? Okay, round two. Okay, so I've gathered up these Sharpie paint markers that I have. These four are oil-based and then this one is water-based. And originally I was going to use these chalks, but since I had to do it with chalk, I don't know, I'm a little thrown by it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the colors of the ones I have here and get started. So I'm basically going to try my best not to smudge any of these marks with my hands. Okay, so you might notice a couple of little changes here that I made. The first being I went over the suite. It was originally red, if you remember, and it just wasn't popping enough for me, so I went over it with a white marker, and this is what happened. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Also added just a little design flourish here at the bottom. I just felt like the space was a little empty. Another idea I had was to take the lemon and put it here. However, first of all, I had already put this there, but then this yellow summer and this yellow together just felt like too much to me right here in this space. Also, I had mentioned earlier that I was planning to hang this on my front door, and I live in Texas, and I don't know what I was thinking about just putting hot glue on here. So I did go back and reinforce some of the joints here with wood glue, because I really don't want this falling apart in the heat. Opening up my front door and seeing parts of my wreath on the ground in front of the door. So I did that on all of the ones that were either pieced together or with the one with the stick. So did that. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make a little hanger for the back, and I'm just simply going to use a piece of twine. So I'm going to place this here with some hot glue. And then I'm also going to reinforce it here with some scrap craft sticks. So I'm going to use some wood glue. And when all is said and done, I'll likely go around and do some more hot glue, not hot glue, but some more wood glue. Just so I feel a little bit better about this connection here. But I'm not going to do that just yet, just so that we can turn it around and work on the other side. So what I want to do now is work on the placement of our little summer treats here. And I think I'm pretty satisfied with this, so I'm going to glue everything into place, and like the back, I'm going to do a combination of wood glue and hot glue. Alright, so there you have it. This is such a cute little summer door hanger. Also, if you made this like just a little bit on the smaller scale, like the piece that I showed you as an example earlier that I was going to use before, if it's a little bit smaller, I think this would be great in the middle of a wreath also. So there's an idea for that. This would also, you know, be cute hanging next to like a drink station or something like that. But I plan to hang this out by my front door, so we'll go ahead and get that hung up and let you see how it looks.